think you've met a narcissist. They're self-absorbed, manipulative, and hungry for attention. But what if the person you're dealing with is something far more dangerous? What if they're not loud and arrogant, but emotionally tuned in? What if they seem to understand you better than anyone, only to twist that understanding into control? You might be facing a dark empath. In this video, we're breaking down the shocking differences between the dark empath and the narcissist, two psychological predators that play very different games. By the end, you'll not only spot them, you'll know how to protect yourself. Definition. Breakdown. Who are they? Let's start with basic definitions. A narcissist is someone who has an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for admiration, and little to no empathy for others. Their behavior is usually obvious. They love being the center of attention, crave validation, and have no issue stepping on others to get what they want. A dark empath is much more covert. They do have empathy, but they use it as a weapon. They read emotions, understand pain, and connect with others on a deep level. But instead of healing, they exploit. They often combine traits of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and even psychopathy. Empathy, the weapon versus the weakness. Here's the first shocking difference. Narcissists lack empathy. It's why they can't genuinely care about your feelings or struggles. They might fake concern to get something, but they never actually feel it. Dark empaths have high effective empathy. They feel your emotions. They might cry with you. They might seem deeply connected, but they don't care the way true empaths do. They use those feelings against you to guilt trip, manipulate, or build emotional dependency. This is what makes dark empaths far more dangerous. Narcissists are predictable. Dark empaths are subtle. The way they manipulate. Narcissists manipulate through overt control. They demand, they gaslight, they blame shift. Their tactics are often loud and direct. Dark empaths manipulate through covert tactics. They listen, validate, and subtly redirect. They don't dominate you. They get you to willingly hand over control. A narcissist might say, "You're stupid for doing that." Dark empath might say, "I just don't want you to get hurt, but do whatever you want." See the difference? One attacks, the other softly disarms. How they present themselves. Narcissists often come across as arrogant, confident, and self-important. They talk about themselves constantly, interrupt others, and demand admiration. Dark empaths appear charming, reserved, and even selfless. They don't talk about themselves. They ask you about you. They seem caring. They listen, but it's a mask. Behind that charm is a calculating mind. This is why so many people fall for them. They don't seem manipulative. They seem perfect. The victim narrative. Both narcissists and dark empaths love to play the victim, but they do it differently. Narcissists play the victim to avoid accountability. They blame others for their failures and feel persecuted by the world. Dark empaths use the victim narrative to build emotional bonds. They share deep, emotional stories. They talk about betrayals and heartbreak, and when you start to sympathize, they start to control. They may say things like, "I've just been hurt so much. I hope you won't do the same. It's hard for me to trust, but I feel safe with you." They're not just sharing. They're setting emotional traps. Why they want control. Both narcissists and dark empaths want control, but for different reasons. Narcissists seek control to boost their ego. They want to be admired, obeyed, and envied. Control is about self-validation. Dark empaths seek control for emotional dominance. They want to own your mind, your feelings, your choices. They get off on knowing they can make you act a certain way without ever demanding it. For narcissists, control is a trophy. For dark empaths, it's a game. How they handle conflict. This is where things get really revealing. Narcissists explode in conflict. They become defensive, aggressive, or cold. They'll deflect blame, insult you, or storm out. Dark empaths stay calm. They stay too calm. They'll use soft words, emotional reasoning, and disappointment to disarm you. You walk away thinking you were wrong, even when you weren't. They'll say, "I understand why you're upset. Maybe I'm just not good enough for you." They make you feel like the villain, even when they're the manipulator. Impact on their victims. Victims of narcissists often feel invalidated, angry, and emotionally exhausted. Victims of dark empaths feel confused, guilty, and broken. Because narcissists are obvious, their harm is recognizable. The dark empath gets under your skin. They make you question your memories, your choices, your worth. That emotional erosion is deeper, more invisible, and far more damaging long-term. Real-life examples and signs to watch for. Let's now go deeper into the real-life patterns that make these personalities stand out. Because understanding their traits in real-world behavior is what allows you to protect yourself. Narcissist signs. Everything always comes back to them, even your problems. Bragging or boasting. They exaggerate achievements or invent grandiosity. They give shallow responses to serious emotional topics. When they don't get their way, their rage is explosive. They believe they deserve special treatment without doing anything to earn it. Dark Empath signs. They copy your body language, tone, and interests too perfectly. It feels good, but it's strategic. They make you feel deeply connected early in the relationship, almost too soon. Uses your pain against you. If you tell them about your trauma, they'll bring it up later to control your behavior. Their manipulation is wrapped in phrases like, "only if you really care about me." They don't demand things. They influence your decisions subtly until you're no longer sure what's yours and what's theirs. How to outsmart them both. 1. Both thrive on emotional reactions. Don't give it to them. 2. Charm is a tactic. Empathy can be fake. Watch how they behave over time. 3. Set hard boundaries, especially with dark empaths. They will test every line you draw. 4. Don't overshare quickly. Vulnerability is power in the wrong hands. Seek a third-person perspective. Talk to someone you trust about what's happening. You now know the difference. You now understand how a narcissist tries to dominate your world and how a dark empath tries to own your emotions. Here's your challenge. You can pretend you've never met either of these people, or you can re-examine your past relationships, your workplace, even your friendships, and start noticing who fits the profile. The next time you feel emotionally drawn in, stop. Ask yourself, is this connection or control? The more you train your awareness, the harder it is for anyone to manipulate you. So, which will it be if you're ready to dominate the psychological battlefield and protect yourself from emotional predators? Subscribe now. More powerful videos are coming your way. Comment below. Have you ever met a dark empath or a narcissist? How did you deal with them? Stay aware. Stay powerful. See you in the next one.